Yvonne, take charge! Welcome in to the Bro 4 Squad podcast, where we're just a bunch of bros drinking beer and talking movies. This is episode 149, and I'm your host, the Mayor, Jeff Hornacek. Thank you guys so much for checking us out for the movie discussion. Very special episode tonight, as you can tell from the title. We have a championship on our hands. But before we get into that, let's go around first and meet the fellow bros. And we begin in the lab with the mad scientist, Brian Banner. Now, Banner, I know your March Madness bracket has gone to shit, but how's your Bro 4 Squad Movie Madness tournament bracket looking this year? Which you probably had more money on than the actual March Madness, right?
Yeah, so I don't know if this says more about my college basketball knowledge or my love for bad movies, but I did way better in the college basketball bracket. These bad movies, man, they're not that bad.
What is wrong with you?
I don't know.
It is kind of annoying that you have actually in real life a really good bracket right now.
I do have a really good bracket right now.
His is really good. I think he has like 3 of the 4 Final Four teams.
How?
Yeah. No, Michigan lost, so I got 2 of the 4.
Baylor and Gonzaga?
Of course.
Yeah,
no one
kind
picked
of
Houston. I mean, come on. No one watched a Houston basketball game this year.
Dude, how annoying is any guy out there that had UCLA right now?
Every person.
It's like, shut the fuck up. You
So-
didn't know. You probably did on accident. You probably thought they had Kareem still.
And it doesn't count if you go to that school, because you always make a bracket where you unrealistically put your
Coolest
school
jerseys in college basketball, probably, though.
I mean, they're pretty fly.
Yeah.
Pretty badass, honestly.
The cursive script, it fucks. Speaking of people who fuck, our enforcer in the paint, Matt Geiger. Now, Matt, it's that time of year when the grass is turning green and summer's just around the corner. So I have to ask, it's basically enforcer season. What's your favorite warm weather activity to participate in while getting in a fight with someone? Golf, barbecue, combination of both?
Canasta.
Definitely. Barbecues, I don't fight too much because usually I'm the one, commanding the barbecue. Golf is definitely the greatest sport to fight at. It's awesome because it's a bunch of guys that used to fight back in their 20s, could still fight a little bit in their 30s, but can't fight at all in their 40s, but still will try to fight. And I love to usually shove Nate Thurman when he won't give me the 4-foot putt inside the leather too. I mean, it's a gentleman's game, I'm told.
You're gonna make me hit this? Come on, Nate.
Especially when he crosses his arms and just walks away. Like he's just like, yeah, you got to put that out. I'm not going to say anything.
Like with him, you just try to pick it up. You don't even say anything and see if he'll call you on your bullshit. Really? We'll be here all day. I'm willing to wait.
It's better when, Banner, who plays golf like 3 times a year, has like a 6-foot putt. It's like, I'm going to pick this up. I never miss this. I'm like, well, you don't play that much. He's like, yeah, but I never miss it. So I'm going to pick it up. It's good.
Yeah, but
Look,
the one thing
if you never take the shot, you never miss.
Right.
It's just logic right there. All right, well, here on the Bro 4 Squad podcast, we start every episode off with the most important thing in any bro's life, and that is chest day. Our chest day today, as you could tell from the title, we have reached the final 4 and the championship matchup of our worst sequels ever Movie Madness tournament bracket. Now, at the top of this description, what? We've done way down.
Whose stoner idea is this? I love it, but
the problem is we don't have anyone on this pod to say no to bad ideas. Like, there's no person here that checks those at the door.
We need an intern. I've been saying it for years.
Banner, we can't offer anything. College credit, definitely not money.
Like Michael Scott at the job fair, we can't offer you college credit, but it's a really fun place to work. Air Force, who wants to do that? H&R Block, I'm not even sure what they do.
It's like shitting on everyone else. He just has a blank piece of paper. Anyway, it's the worst sequels ever Movie Madness tournament. Today we are going to recap the final 4 matchups, which you guys voted for on Twitter. And if you click the link at the very top of the description here, whether you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or YouTube, you can see the bracket. So, before we live score the finals and find out what is the worst direct movie sequel of all time, again, we're not including a part 3, prequels, or legacy reboots. Banner, why don't you recap what happened in the 2 Final Four matchups, and then we have some fun tweets that people send in to us we want to read as well.
So, in our first Final Four matchup, we had Mortal Kombat Annihilation going up against Independence Day Resurgence, which this is two haymakers going at each other right here.
This was basically the championship, I think.
I think so. I do. I really do. Mortal Kombat took it 63-37. Mortal Kombat's just a force to be reckoned with right now. They got hot at the right time.
Or cold at the right time, depending on how you look at this tournament.
It's been so confusing. I don't know who's won and who's lost.
A little pun
technically.
there for you.
Nice. The interesting comparison here is, okay, so Mortal Kombat Annihilation is just a piece of shit from top to bottom. It looks like trash. It sounds horrible. It makes no goddamn sense. Independence Day Resurgence, I think, had ideas of being a competently made film and just falls flat in every facet. So it's like, what are the fans really grading here? And apparently just overall shittiness, not shittiness versus what were you actually able to achieve. Like, if you look at the budget, I think it's probably $200 million for Independence Day Resurgence. I'm not happy with the product that I got if I'm the studio.
This is Independence Day Resurgence. It was, to start the NFL season, probably a 10-6 team that would get into the wild card, maybe do some noise in the playoffs. Week 2, they lose their quarterback, and instead of just closing up shop and just fucking busting and trying to get a top 2 pick to get an O lineman to save their quarterback next year, they actually try to make the playoffs with their backup quarterback, and it just doesn't fucking work. It's pretty much what happened.
Yeah. And now you end up 7-9 and picking 17th in the draft.
And then they get nobody, and the quarterback's pissed because they're like, dude, there's no receivers, there's no O linemen that I want that high in the draft.
But they have Liam Hemsworth, Matt. The analogy that doesn't really make sense anymore, but he was in the movie and he sucked.
Yeah, because he's like a third string. I would say he's the third best actor of the Hemsworth brothers.
He's the Jeremy Giambi of acting.
Oh my God, what an analogy.
Where they just keep giving him chances because his brother's good. Like, why?
Yeah, because there's like, I don't know, maybe some of this is genetic, and he just keeps proving to them, no, it's not. It's not. Trust me.
So he's the Jeremy Giambi of acting. Yeah.
Very well put. Jeremy Giambi's at home drunk off his ass going like, actually,
what the fuck did I do? I was in Moneyball, kind of. Guy played me.
Sorry, I could lay off a slider low and away, so sue me. We got a tweet from Kreasdofar, which I love this guy's Twitter handle. It's Kreasdofar, who says, see, I'm impartial to this election and cannot vote. It's like North Korea. While Mortal Kombat Annihilation was horrible, especially with Bargain Bin Clancy Brown, that they recast Raiden with this guy who kind of looked like Clancy Brown. Like, if you squinted, you were like, is that fucking Clancy Brown? He says, I couldn't bring myself to watch Independence Day Resurgence. The first one is a staple of my childhood, and I couldn't live with the disappointment. That's really what a lot of this bracket is do you want to watch the movie and ruin the original? And sadly, in most cases, we have done it.
There's a new one coming. Is it on HBO, right?
Yeah, HBO Max.
Is it on it now?
No, they just pushed it back a week, so I think to space it out from Godzilla vs. Kong, I think it's in 2 weeks. You gotta let Godzilla vs. Kong breathe like a Cabernet. Because that's what it is.
Let those tannins mellow.
I feel so sorry for a lot of the bros listening to us trying to pitch Godzilla vs. Kong to their wives right now. Let's just watch it. Let's give it a chance. It could be cool.
The chick from Stranger Things is in it.
Is there any woman that has any interest in watching that?
Man. I'm trying to think of the deals husbands are having to make with their wives to get that put on TV. Like, what are you giving up on Saturday? Like, you're looking at
how many months of dishes are dudes doing right now?
I tried to pitch it to my wife because we're going on our first date since the kid was born this Saturday. I was like, Godzilla vs. Kong is in theaters. She's like, yeah, or we could just, go to a bar and talk and hang out. I was like, yeah, we could do that too.
I'm like, fuck.
Yes.
What you can do is get her drunk first and then just sneak her into the movie.
I thought it'd be cooler going with you guys and wearing our USA gear since Godzilla is kind of probably, what is he, Chinese or Japanese, and Kong's from the United States. So we just keep chanting USA every time Kong knocks him out, clapping at each other.
I'm out of town this weekend, but I'm in next weekend. Fuck, I'll drive.
Like, we have to wear stand up to COVID.
We have to wear
took a year.
USA basketball tanks with no undershirts is what we have to wear.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Obviously.
Muscles out. All right, so it's Mortal Kombat Annihilation advancing to the championship to potentially be the worst movie sequel of all time. But Banner, it has some stiff competition. Why don't you tell us who it's going to be facing based on our other
So,
Final Four match?
our other Final Four matchup, we've got Son of Mask versus Transformers Revenge of the Fallen. This is about the same as the last one. We got 67-33, Son of Mask moving on. Personally, can't say I'm too surprised by this. I'm actually surprised Transformers is even still in the tournament.
Yeah, we'll bring this up in a second, but Matt knows this. Superstars are what win in March, and Son of the Mask's lead actor is Jamie Kennedy. So in a worst movies ever tournament, I mean, that's a big time bell cow that you can give the ball to 30 times and feel good about your chances.
But it's not like Mortal Kombat Annihilation has any A-listers, and the ones they almost kind of did have, they didn't even return, I don't think.
No. Well, my point was that Jamie Kennedy is so horrible in this movie that it's tough to beat
absolutely.
them. Transformers Revenge of the Fallen, I think it kind of gets just drowned in how blah the rest of the Transformers series was, because people it's bad, but it's probably not even my least favorite Transformers movie by a long shot.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that it looks a lot worse because they kept on going. I think if they would have stopped at 3, yes, it would have been the worst of the franchise, but it wouldn't have been that bad.
And still one of the story. You still had Shia LaBeouf and Megan Fox. You didn't have to get Wahlberg in there and Anthony Hopkins.
Oh my God! Wait, I got a lot of Anthony Hopkins thoughts later on in the pod here. Before time. 2 tweets we got on this one. Another one from Cree Stofar, who says, knowing Son of the Mask was in the running, a blowout was expected. Even if the brackets included not direct, this is a crazy statement, but I agree, not direct sequels or prequels, meaning we're getting into like parts 4 and 5, I'm sure it'd end up in the finals. Saying it's bad is an understatement. Guys, I hadn't seen this movie in a long time. I think I saw it on TBS one day. I rewatched a 4-minute clip of it today on my lunch break, and that itself was even hard to get to while I was half paying attention.
Isn't it more about the dog?
It's a little bit about the dog, but Alan Cumming plays Loki in the movie, who the mask is actually a creation of. And Bob Haskins, who's Mario from the Mario movie and in Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Wow, there's actually Loki in the movie.
Yeah, and Bob Haskins plays Odin.
Huh.
Wow.
So and Alan Cumming, of course,
you don't watch this once a year.
Yeah. It's not my cup of tea.
If you go read the beginning of the plot on Wikipedia, and we'll talk about this probably more in the championship, but it says Ben Stein reprises his role from the original Mask. I was like, what the fuck? He's in the first Mask for 30 seconds.
He's in it for apparently. A second. He's the guy that talks about Loki.
He does the same thing in the sequel.
But wasn't the movie poster the dog with the mask on?
Yeah, the dog is what brings the mask to Jamie Kennedy.
And is Jamie Kennedy, he's not Jim Carrey's son.
Oh, no. Why would you think that? Oh, because the movie's fucking titled that. Yeah, that has nothing to do with it.
Stanley Ipkiss.
It's so fucking stupid. And then another tweet we got was from Cody at Cody648138838. He said, I saw Son of the Mask in theaters, so I know it's bad. And Cody, God bless your soul. Can you?
I don't believe Cody.
Is everything?
There's no way that movie is in theaters. No way.
Yeah, that just seems like a recipe to purposely lose
that had
money.
to be. I've heard some shit in my life, but that's a lie. That movie is straight to VHS. There's no fucking way they thought that could work in theaters.
Matt's like from Step Brothers, Cody, I'm saying this out of love. Fuck you.
Yeah. No way.
That's the type of movie where we'd go see something else. I don't know when it came out, like 2004. But we would walk into that theater and just before the movie starts, walk to the front of the auditorium and say to everyone, "You guys need help." Like
why are you here?
Yeah. What's going on? Is everything okay at home? Don't answer that. I know it's not.
Besides the 8th graders in the back row hoping they get an HJ. Like, why are you guys here?
Yeah, that's the only one who makes sense. I missed that. Trying to figure out which movie would be the least crowded to go with your 8th grade girlfriend.
Yeah, just so maybe she'll blow you in the back room.
And you're thinking like Son of Mask. I mean, that's a fucking lock. And then you show up and Cody's in the second row. Like, why the hell am I here? So just lose. All right. Well, no, I want you to say that because I know you'll regret it.
No, it's fine. So in the finals, we have Mortal Kombat Annihilation going up against Son of the Mask.
All right, now remember, those scoring at home, live betting this on Bovada, this is a matchup of which movie is the worst. So it's essentially a battle of futility. So here on the Bro 4 Squad podcast, we typically have 5 criteria that we do all of our movie reviews on. We're going to cull those down to 3 for the championship matchup. Each of us will score which movie is worse in the 3 criteria. That's a total of 9 points. So the first person to receive 5 points is the winner, which in this case is the loser, and is crowned the worst movie sequel of all time. Now, the first category is the acting.
Wait, are we doing 5 categories or 3 categories?
No, we're just doing 3 because rewatchability. Come on, that's not fair.
Yeah, and best scene, like that would require I have to watch more than 30 seconds of each movie.
Yes, it would. And you
Credits
both have kids.
for the best scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it mercilessly ends. I never wanted to be waterboarded so bad in my life. All right, the acting and cast. Now, Matt, we'll go to you first. This is a tough one because neither of these movies return the original cast, obviously, which is a huge problem with sequels. Although in Mortal Kombat's case, it's a little less defensible because there's really no big-name actors in it originally. Like, I understand not being able to get Jim Carrey to come back when he wanted to do Ace Ventura 2.
Yeah.
What's Mortal Kombat's excuse?
I'm going to go with Son of Mask, though. And the reason why I think Mortal Kombat wins the acting and cast is just simply because of the way the movie's laid out. It is a video game, arcade game movie. And I watched some of this shit on YouTube this week. More so, Mortal Kombat's more about the fight scenes and the battle scenes, and they're not like terrible. Like, it's just the story and the plot that's fucking bad in this. But the action scenes are, I mean, they live up to the first one, some of them. So
they're pretty fucking bad.
Yeah, so they're I mean, but but that's what you go into Mortal Kombat 90s. Like, dude, I just want stupid action fight scenes or whatever. But man, fucking Son of Mask. I mean, Jamie Kennedy leading. If you say Jamie Kennedy's the lead,
yeah,
you
automatically lose
I don't even
interest.
need to hear the other movie.
Like on a good team, he's coming out of the bullpen. He's these guys' opening day starter.
The dog is the best fucking actor in it. Or actress. I don't know. I don't know the gender.
You didn't check its genitals? Come on, dude. Let me just say, so Matt gives his point to Son of the Mask. Again, you don't want points in this matchup. Think like golf. Higher score loses. I do think the fans did a great job getting this right just because I'm on IMDb, and these ratings are out of 10 stars. Son of Mask has a 2.2 with almost 53,000 ratings.
I'm not even mad about that. That's impressive to be that low.
Yeah. And Mortal Kombat is at a 3.7. Mortal Kombat Annihilation, a 3.7 with almost 48,000 ratings. So these are probably the 2 worst fucking movies in this bracket. All right, Banner, of these 2 films, which has the worst cast and performances for you?
So when I went through and scored these, I decided my acting and cast, because honestly, I haven't seen either one of these movies. I don't know that I've ever seen Mortal Kombat Annihilation, and I haven't seen Son of Mask since, I don't know, probably 10 years ago, like you said, on TBS. So can't really actually go on their performances. So
I do remember, sorry, Banner, to interrupt. I do remember one time in college, you and I came home, and we had free HBO at our house for like 3 weeks.
Dude, that was awesome.
And we caught the last 15 minutes of Mortal Kombat Annihilation. But we were so drunk, we thought it was the first one. And we were like, dude, I don't remember it ending like this. And then we realized like 2 days later, because it was playing again, you were like, that wasn't the same Mortal Kombat movie we watched.
I do remember that.
Because we had free HBO and we were so drunk, we were about to call and order HBO. And Brent Berry, our roommate, was like, no, you're not. Not because
like,
Mortal
don't do
Kombat
it.
Annihilation is on
Don't
TV.
do it.
Sorry to interrupt. I just
That's
had
all right.
The fans I knew would love that anecdote.
They needed that story. So what I went off of was how big of a fall did you go from your original movie to your sequel? Like we said, Mortal Kombat didn't really have that much going for it. So going into Mortal Kombat Annihilation,
Yes.
that drop-off isn't that much. But you're going from Jim Carrey and Cameron Diaz to Jamie Kennedy. Is there a bigger drop-off ever?
Oh boy.
I love this because we talked about this in the first round, and it is. And I wish our fans could see Banner right now. He's in a rocking chair with his legs crossed and his hands over it. It looks like Martha Stewart or somebody, Barbara Walters on 2020 is doing an interview after him after he just had like discretions with the secretary or something. But he's very serious right now. But this is serious shit, and that is a good point. How good was the first one? How big is the fucking drop? If the first one sucked, then how bad can the second one really be? But the first one was like, I wouldn't call The Mask a top 10 comedy, but I would call it a top 10 comedy of the 90s. And it fell off big time. Like,
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
we didn't get one of the actors. Like,
I
Cameron
know.
Diaz wouldn't come back. Jim Carrey would come
When
back.
it's saying Ben Stein returns, you know you have a problem.
We got Ben Stein back, though.
Dude, if I'm Ben Stein too, I'm like, no one else is coming back. You need to pay my guy top dollar. for
Apparently,
this thing.
somebody must have stolen his money, so he needed the money to do this.
God, that show was great. I didn't even know he's rich. Is he rich?
No,
There's
but as
no
a kid, you
fucking
buy into it. You're like, dude, this is crazy. He's like putting up his own money for the prizes.
Wow, the guy that was in Ferris Bueller for 5 minutes and The Mask for 5 minutes is like the richest guy in the world. Who knew?
God, old people love to just say Bueller. I'm like, bro, I'm ignoring you. I heard you.
It was
So
20,
Banner,
40 years
great.
ago.
Banner, you say Son of the Mask is worse?
Son of the Mask wins that point. Yes.
All right, so Son of the Mask is up 2-0. And I'm going to have to agree with Geiger here because he brings up a really good point. So Mortal Kombat Annihilation, what do you actually, like, for me to enjoy the movie, what do I need the cast to do, right? First off, their faces are covered half the time. Second off, just do cool-ass kicks and shit, and I'm good. The Mask, like, if you think about what made the first one so much fun, it's Jim Carrey being over the top, right? So it's really cringeworthy and hurts me when you watch Jamie Kennedy try to be... It was a fool's errand. I mean, he could not succeed. There's no chance. And then on top of that, he's Jamie Kennedy. He's doomed from the start. It would be like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of it. It'd be like an NBA team, like, trading their superstar, and they draft some dude 18th overall, and they're like, we need you to be him. He's like, I can't. I'm a spot-up shooter. Poor Jamie Kennedy. And the
Jamie
Mask
Kennedy
is...
went home and was like, dude, I know how to play this. I'm going to tweak it a little bit, but it's going to be great.
I read on the Wikipedia page today, which, by the way, it's short, but the Wikipedia page for Son of the Mask will just make you laugh like 10 times in the first 2 paragraphs. Because it just describes how big of a fucking... Like, why this movie was made. It's like, it lost $50 million. And you just say, well, no shit. Jamie Kennedy has said he was unpleased with the final product. Like, you think?
I would hope so.
You know, I don't really know what to tell you. Like Nelson Cruz saying he's mad.
Comment below. Let's say it's March 13th, 2020 right now. Would you rather relive 2020 all over again or watch these 2 movies back to back?
2020.
Dude, not even a question.
Not even
Comment
close.
below. Which one do you want to do?
All right, so
No
Son of the
beer or
Mask.
weed either. You got to watch them sober.
oh wow,
Yeah, definitely. I'll take 2020 twice.
it complicates things. Son of the Mask is up 3-0. That brings us on to the story and the plot. So, according to IMDb, let me read the plot synopses for both of these films. Son of the Mask from 2005, directed by Lawrence Guterman, probably the beginning and end of his career. Plot synopsis says, Tim Avery, isn't that the guy from Making a Murder?
Stephen Avery. I'm
Stephen
sure Tim was
Avery.
one of his
Okay.
brothers or cousins.
Damn it, that would have been awesome.
Yeah.
I don't
All
know.
connects.
Yeah.
Get off for WrestleMania. All right, sorry, that threw me off. Tim Avery, an aspiring cartoonist, finds himself in a predicament when his dog, Geiger, stumbles upon the mask of Loki. Then, after conceiving an infant son born of the mask, so there's probably a mask sex scene, he discovers just how loony child raising can be. Oh, Jesus Christ. That was a bad plot synopsis. Can Mortal Kombat Annihilation sound worse, according to IMDb?
Did any of these, Jeff, instead of just giving you a plot synopsis, ask why? Like, why do you want to know this?
It's like one of those like escape rooms where when you click on a certain thing, it just says, "We're just going to get you the help you need." Yes, for the plus synopsis. Mortal Kombat Annihilation says a group of martial arts warriors have only 6 days to save the Earth from an extra-dimensional invasion, and I'm gonna guess they save it at the very end of day 6 before we even get into it. So Banner, we'll go to you first. The story and plot. Which of these sounds stupider? You're burdened with this.
Yeah, it's a tough one because Mortal Kombat Annihilation essentially was just Mortal Kombat, right? Like it's the exact same thing. Hey,
but taking place on Earth now, which is way less cool.
Yeah, that's true.
Instead of Outer World.
Son of Mask tried too hard. Like, way too fucking hard. They could have stopped before he had a baby, right?
Well, that's the first 5 minutes of the movie, but yeah, they should have stopped then.
Right, and that's my point. I think I'm going to give the point to Mortal Kombat Annihilation merely because Son of Mask tried to be a story. Even though it didn't work, it at least tried. Mortal Kombat, which is not an indictment on the movie, it is what it is. It just said, hey, we're going to go out there and have... It's basically a motion picture of a UFC fight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense.
So I'm going to give the point to Mortal Kombat Annihilation for being worse because Son of Mask tried.
Very fair. Yeah, Mortal Kombat Annihilation is probably one of the worst plots of this whole bracket, meaning there's just nothing there. It's just a series of fights, which again, I get that's part of what makes the IP so good, but you take it out of Outer World, which is one of the more interesting parts of the universe, and just try and throw a countdown on the framing device, and it's really fucking stupid. So, Son of Mask is still up 3-1. Geiger, for you, which story or plot is stupider?
I'm giving the point to Son of Mask again. I feel like I'm picking on it, but let's be honest. Mortal Kombat is a fucking arcade game. Like Banner said, it's basically just a fight tournament. It's a UFC tournament. That's it. They decided to make it a movie because us 90s kids would go see it. Coming up with the story, there is no story at the arcade game or anything like that. You just basically go to Fight Island,
and you
either die or you win.
On to the next. Yeah,
that's it. So coming up with the story that you just said, Jeff, I'm like, all right, that makes sense. That's fine. Yeah, you got a time, which you have to in any action movie. Like, hey, you got 6 days or 24 hours or whatever. But Son of Mask, I mean, imagine in that pitch meeting, like, well, and then after that, he has a kid, and it gets wacky because the kid is a mask now, like the little baby. I'm like, why? Like, someone need to be like, why are we even doing this? Like, why don't we just come up with some new movie with Jamie Kennedy that, is goofy or something like that, and make, and I've been shitting on Jamie Kennedy a lot. Actually, I like a lot of the stuff he's in. He's usually like 4th or 5th build, but who knows? If you would have given him an original idea, I mean, he could have maybe had a Rob Schneider career for a while.
God, it's sad that that's like his ceiling. But you're right. You're not wrong. Matt at a bar, like, hey man, you're a victim of circumstance. I think you could have been like poor man's Rob Schneider. And Jamie Kennedy's like, thanks, bro.
Kids' Choice Award. It'll slime you and everything, the whole deal.
I can see that in the future for you.
You have that kind of potential.
What a great fucking line. You have that. Look, I don't have to piss. I'm just trying to level with you. All right, so Geiger gives his point to Son of Mask, which is now up 4-1. Another interesting thing, and I love when these matchups get this way. So I was looking at this and I was like, all right, who can I punish for being longer than the other movie? And Son of Mask clocks in at 1 hour 34 minutes, and Mortal Kombat clocks in at 1 hour 35. So these things know you got to get us in and out. I'm not going to.
Those are both good numbers.
Yeah. So I really can't indict either here. I will say this: I reread because it's been 9 or 10 years since I watched either of these movies. And if you're at home, just shut the fuck up. We're not going to rewatch these films right now, okay?
No,
I'm not going to rewatch. Yeah, my mental health is in a fragile state. I'm not going to put on Son of Mask.
If you do, though, hey, we were looking for an intern, so.
Exactly. We'd love to have somebody watch these movies. Like, tell me again what happened in that. But I was reading the plot to Son of Mask, and it's actually like the Loki stuff in the first act is actually kind of interesting with Alan Cumming. Like Odin, now again, it's all played for laughs, but Odin, played by Bob Hoskins, sends Loki to Earth to retrieve the mask because he says, like, basically it's fucked up humanity. Like Jim Carrey wore it, and now this guy has it. And Loki, spoiler alert for Son of Mask, if you care, seek help, but also skip ahead 30 seconds. Loki kills Ben Stein in the opening scene, rips Ben Stein's face off, and puts it in a display in a museum to replace the mask. So there's some interesting stuff happening. Now, the movie's still a colossal train wreck, don't get me wrong, but if it has anything of an advantage over Mortal Kombat Annihilation, it might have a slightly better plot. So I'm going to go with Mortal Kombat Annihilation as having the worst plot. And the final score going into our last category, which is the impact of each film, is 4-2. Son of Mask is in the lead. And remember, being in the lead means it is on pace to be crowned the worst sequel of all time. So, lasting impact, Matt Geiger, what do you think? Son of Mask or Mortal Kombat Annihilation? Which is worse?
I'm gonna give this point to Son of Mask because before this tournament I totally forgot that was even a thing, but I did know what Mortal Kombat Annihilation was. Son of Mask is actually really forgettable. I guess just because it makes no fucking sense in the story at all. It is a comic movie, kind of, but I totally forgot that movie even fucking existed until this happened. And I feel like Ryan Howard in The Office. He's like, if I just left here, everyone would forget I was here, and I would forget too. I forgot Jamie Kennedy was in it also.
Yeah, it's beyond forgettable. I think our brain just suppresses it like a childhood trauma, basically. All right, well, that will actually, based on...
Sorry, it was anticlimactic.
No.
I should have picked the other one.
I respect you for just scoring, honestly. So it's 5-2. Son of Mask, it will be the worst movie sequel of all time. But Banner, more importantly, much more importantly, there's a spread in Vegas to cover, which is 1.5. Mortal Kombat Annihilation plus 1.5. Will they cover? Or will Son of Mask cover for those who bet on them? Which has the worst impact?
So I'm going to throw some stats at you guys real quick. Okay?
Love it.
First, Mortal Kombat, the first one, $18 million to make.
Okay.
It yielded $125 million.
Holy shit.
Yeah. It's because there's sick people like us, those 90s kids that all went to the fucking theaters and saw it.
Dude, that movie was red hot though when it came out. I mean, that was right.
Yeah.
These weren't fucking Banner. These weren't video game movies that after they were hot 10 years later they came. I mean, Mortal Kombat, that was at its peak in 95.
Yeah.
Dude, people were probably like playing it in the arcade at the theater and then going to see it. That sounds fucking cool.
This wasn't Sonic that all kids now don't know what the fuck it is, and our age are like, oh yeah, that's kind of cool, but I have an 8-year-old kid. Why the fuck would I go see it?
Yeah. Also, making Mortal Kombat for $18 million sounds pretty cheap. Like Goro, he looks like shit, but he also looks expensive as hell because they did it practically.
Yeah, I mean, I think that, they got their money's worth, right?
$14 million of that was spent on Goro because they couldn't afford Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Until The Rock plays Goro,
it won't matter.
It won't matter.
Nothing will matter. Our marriages don't even matter.
Mortal Kombat Annihilation, $30 million to make. It
On
yielded
what?
It yielded $51.3 million. It made a fucking profit. How?
Man, this is like the New York Mets GM. They're like, where the fuck did you spend that money? We have 55 wins. Like,
what year was the second one come out? 97?
97.
Yeah.
So 2 years later, I was going to say inflation, but not in 2 fucking years. I don't even think the president switched. Was that?
No.
That makes no sense.
So
Inexcusable.
$12 million more to make the second one, but it still made $73 million less. Okay, let's look at The Mask and the Son of Mask. The Mask, $23 million to make, which with all the CGI and stuff I could see, it made $352 million.
Holy shit. For a comedy in 94, that's pretty fucking good.
So then we've got 10 years later, right?
Dumb and Dumber make that? Fuck, that's a lot of money.
In 2005, that's when Son of Mask came out.
Mm-hmm.
So 10 years later, we're like, hey, let's capitalize on Jim Carrey, who's not even in the fucking movie. We're also you guys are gonna shit yourselves. $100 million budget.
It must have been in theaters then.
That's just totally irresponsible, though, from a studio. You cannot spend $100 million on that movie, and none of that is going towards paying Jim Carrey.
That's Warner Brothers, isn't it? Right?
I don't know where to find that on IMDb, but
Keep going, Banner. I'll look it up.
Son of Mask made $60 million.
wow. So it lost $40 million.
So it lost $40 million. So our discrepancies here, it was $77 million more to make, and it lost nearly $300,000.
Wait, 300,000?
300 million, excuse me.
Oh, yeah.
New Line Cinema.
I don't have enough page or space on my page to write all the zeros.
I mean, that's fucking embarrassing. I think even if you didn't tell me the box office, you can't justify spending $100 million on this movie, and it doesn't include Jim Carrey. And the few clips that I read,
Cameron Diaz at that point.
Right. Yeah, because you're getting Jamie Kennedy at Bargain Basement in 2005. Because the few clips I watched were very CGI heavy, but I just can't imagine it's that expensive. What is Alan Cumming costing you in 2005?
Okay, Jeff, on the DVD at the very top in all bold letters from the director of Cats and Dogs. If that doesn't get your dick hard, Jamie Kennedy, Alan Cumming, Son of Mask, The Next Generation of Mischief, and then a big PG. So it's not even PG-13.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Matt, I know Matt and I have joked about this for years, but I'm getting more and more serious. If you pay us each $70,000, we will just sit in your board meetings and just be like, don't do this. And I promise you, we will save you millions of dollars at the end of the year.
Okay, and to buy it, on Google Play, free shipping, Son of Mask is $6.99. At Walmart, The Mask and Son of Mask is $3.74.
Jesus.
So keep half your money and get not only your shitty movie, but a better movie.
And just throw the shitty one in the fucking trash.
Dude, it's probably one of those shitty deals where it's on the same disc and you just flip it over. And
No,
put it
is. The box is just the movie poster split in half, which I fucking love.
Yes, I love those.
But it's like, listen, we can't get rid of this one, but I know you like this one. What if you just went to Walmart, like literally, I do not want this one. I'm going to throw it away. It's like, sir, you can do whatever you want once you buy it, but you have to take this one.
Also, demand 50% off.
When you buy this, you will receive a phone call for a mental health screening. It's just part of the process. So just answer their questions and they'll let you be on your way. So Banner, all that said, who do you give the worst impact to? Great stats, by the way. Thank you for pulling those.
So I'm going to, you have to go Son of Mask here. And one other point why. Mortal Kombat Annihilation wasn't so bad that it killed the video game. And we're getting a reboot that honestly looks pretty fucking cool. We are never, let me rephrase that. We should never get another Mask movie.
Well, according to IMDb News, December 15th, 2020, I'm not going to click it, and maybe this is hearsay now, but the news headline says, Jim Carrey reportedly still making a new Mask movie.
Oh, God. But Jim Carrey's back in it, so that's okay.
I got to say one more thing. Also, Walmart has a 4-film favorites family comedies. Pinocchio, the Jonathan Taylor Thomas one. Little Vampire with the cute kid.
Jonathan Lipnicki. But
Monkey
he's like
Trouble
not cute anymore.
and Son
like
of the
2
Mask. All 4 for
Is
$10.
Monkey Trouble with Brendan Fraser?
Oh, this one has a chick on the front of it.
Okay. No,
like a little. There was a Pinocchio movie with Jonathan Taylor Thomas.
I didn't know that.
I didn't know that either.
Oh, Monkey Bone was the movie he was in. Yeah, Brendan Fraser. God damn it. How do you think they come up with those 4 movies?
I want to watch the Pinocchio movie with Jonathan Taylor. My wife will watch it. She used to think he was cute when she was little.
Who does he play? Pinocchio or like a young Geppetto?
So basically, it kind of looks like... so Pinocchio is a wooden doll in the front. Geppetto has Jonathan Taylor Thomas on his lap, almost like a Jerry Sandusky fucking thing. I don't
Right.
know.
Wow.
Well, Matt, they're winning football games. I mean, God forbid. We're in the Holiday Bowl, God damn it. So they just made up a role to put Jonathan Taylor Thomas in the movie because he's not Pinocchio or Geppetto. I mean, who the fuck is
Maybe
he?
he's Pinocchio. Wasn't Pinocchio
Jiminy
always
Cricket?
a real boy? Or no, he was a wooden boy that turned into a real. Maybe he turns.
Or no,
into
didn't
Jonathan Taylor.
Geppetto have a son who died named Pinocchio, and that's why he made the doll? That's probably who he is.
I don't know.
Oh.
Pinocchio is kind of.
I'm giving my point to Son of Mask.
Okay. Now, this needs to be a whole new segment at some point. Geiger deep dives the bargain bins online at Walmart.
This is what on the shit is in there.
Man, I gotta ask, what's the cost of that 4-in-1 DVD that you just
$10?
Jesus Christ, 10. Imagine if your movie
There's
is
not even one movie I want to watch.
I did that exact deal, except it was all 4 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies, and it was $15.
That makes sense.
Best $15 I've spent in a long time.
At least there's like 2, maybe 3 movies in that's good. This isn't even like the Disney Pinocchio one.
That's pathetic. All right, so Son of Mask is up 7-2 already. Sorry, 6-2 already winning. I'm gonna make it 7-2 and say my worst impact goes to Son of Mask. And my criteria, I mean, you guys have pretty much already said what needs to be said, but here's mine, plain and simple. As far as sequel goes, Mortal Kombat Annihilation is actually a true sequel to the original. The first Mortal Kombat ends with these enemies showing up on Earth that Sonya Blade, Liu Kang, and Johnny Cage have to fight with Raiden. Now, granted, when the second one starts, all those 4 people, even though the movie takes place 4 seconds after the first one, look different because new actors have been cast in the roles. But at least that one is a sequel. It follows up on the original. Son of Mask really just takes the same plot device in the actual mask that the person wears and a 30-second Ben Stein cameo and tries to basically use the IP to get you in the theater. And to me, that's disgusting. And then you spend $100 million on it and double barf. So impact, Son of Mask is worse. That is a 7-2.
It's a rout, folks.
It's a blowout, meaning that Son of Mask is unequivocally the worst movie sequel, direct sequel of all time. Now, I know Christopher would definitely agree with us. Guys, before we move on, this was a different Movie Madness tournament than we've ever done because it was a battle in futility. You had to be the worst. I guess I want 2 things from you. Overall thoughts on how this thing played out, and then do you think the fans, for the most part, got it right, and then us at the end, with Son of Mask being the worst? Geiger, we'll go to you first.
I think Son of Mask is the worst. I'll say we do more of these tournaments that the winner is actually the biggest fucking loser. And I want to tweet Alan Cumming or Jamie Kennedy to come on the pod and talk about this, because one of them might be a good sport and actually talk about it.
I bet Jamie Kennedy would.
I bet he would.
I bet if we gave him $20, he would.
I loved him in Boiler Room. I mean, Malibu's Most Wanted is actually not that bad a film.
It's pretty funny.
Cycling and I said that on the selection show. I was like, Jamie Kennedy, I get what Hollywood saw in him. Like, he showed flashes. He was like Rick Ankiel on the mound. Like, you could see it.
And they moved him to center.
Still ranked.
I think how we got there was a little odd. I think some movies went a little deeper than what I personally would have thought they would. But in the end, yeah, we got the 2 worst movies in the finals, and I agree. I think this is the worst movie. I think that we all got it right.
It's interesting. So you can go back and look at all the previous matchups. Again, we talk about draws. Who do you face off is a big part of how you get here. And Speed 2 Cruise Control drew Son of Mask in the first round. If Speed 2 Cruise Control's on the other side of the bracket, we might be talking about that matchup tonight,
It's all about matchups.
I don't think so. I think Speed 2 would have ultimately lost to Annihilation.
Really?
I think so.
The title, to me, Speed 2 Cruise Control, like, it just sounds like something Cycling made up. Like, pitching the same plot, but now they're on the water. Okay.
Well, you should hear their pitch for the third one.
I'd rather not.
On the moon.
They're going to space.
Good.
God, speaking of space, I can't wait for Fast and Furious 9 to come out. Fucking awesome. All right. Thank you guys for helping us out. The worst movie sequel of all time, according to you, and then a little nudge at the end from us, is Son of the Mask. If you agree or disagree, although I have a feeling no one is going to be willing to fight on the side of Son of the Mask. And if you are, actually, we'd love to hear it. Tweet at us at Bro4Squad on Twitter. All right, the second part of our show is our protein shake, where we go around and talk about what is in our cup, also known as what have we watched lately. I have 4 things this week. I left one of them from last week. Banner, why don't you start us off first? We'll go round robin like one at a time till we all run out. What have you seen lately? What's in your cup?
So, actually had a really busy week this week, so I haven't got to watch much, but I did watch, again, with this stupid fucking Star Wars quest that I'm doing. I'm done, honestly. I don't want to do it anymore, but I have to finish. I watched the first season of Mandalorian and half of the second season. This is like the third time watching it, guys, and it's still so fucking good. Geiger, I understand that you have more of a backbone than the rest of us, but you got to get it on this. You would fucking love it.
It went from backbone to just not having time with the newborn, but still standing tall. If I get anything, it's going to be HBO Max. It's not going to be Disney Plus now. HBO Max is coming hard.
I mean, let's edit this part out. But Matt, I'll give you either of my logins for both of them.
Okay.
You got to get Disney Plus because when the Obi-Wan show comes out, we got to talk Hayden Christensen's return.
Have to,
of course.
I'm just gonna go ahead. I actually watched one other thing too, and I forgot. And we need to get this out. I have to get it out. Watched Mighty Ducks Game Changers.
Jesus Christ!
I want to hear.
No, you don't.
Look. Is the premise stupid? Yes.
Yeah.
Is the acting bad? Of course.
Yes.
Is there anything good about it? No. Did I have a blast watching it? Yeah. Was I super stoned? Yeah. It was awesome.
I just want to know one thing. Sorry, Jeff. I just want to know one thing. Do they cast Gordon Bombay almost like in the shadows, like they did Christian Bale in Batman 3, where he's just like old, broken down? They're like, God, is he coming back? Can we get him back? Or is he just half the man he used to be?
He's actually probably the best part of the entire show because he's a complete asshole. He hates hockey now.
He's basically reverted Gordon Bombay from the original, right?
Yes, he is
still vertigo.
I don't know if he has vertigo.
No, revertigo. Like he's the Gordon Bombay before he meets the Ducks in the first one.
Is he a lawyer?
No, he runs a ice rink, but he hates hockey, so he doesn't allow hockey there. Lauren Graham's character, who's the mom, comes to him and says, "Hey, I've got a fuck ton of money. I will give it to you if you let this be our home ice." And he goes, "Well, how much money?" Of course, they didn't show us. They write it on a piece of paper, and he goes, "Sure, that sounds good." So the only reason that he's allowing them to play hockey is to float the bill to keep the place running.
She probably just wrote 69, and he knows what that means.
Yeah.
So in Minnesota, where hockey is king, he has a hockey rink, but he doesn't allow hockey on it, just ice skating.
Correct.
Yeah, and he played and coached hockey for about 20 years.
And the Ducks are like the Hawks now, right?
Yes, they are. Everybody wants to be on the Ducks. They're the best team, and the kid, I don't know his name, whatever, but his age group, they're moving up to the next bracket. They're like, 12 to 14-year-olds now, and he gets cut from the Ducks.
Which apparently, God forbid, you allow the best players on the best teams.
It's weird. It's a really new concept.
So the kid's actually pretty good at hockey. He just can't cut it with the best select team.
Yeah, he's like the best player in D2. And
so
not Mighty Ducks
D2. So he bitches to his rich mommy, and his rich mommy's like, "Hey, we're just going to create our own team."
I know, this is sickening me right now.
Pretty
much. Fucking helicopter parent comes in and buy. I'm supposed to empathize with him?
Actually, well, here's the thing. She's a single mom. She's a paralegal, but she, quote unquote, found money in it was like subsidized like grant.
Yeah, so she got it through the divorce. Okay.
Yeah.
Matt, she's a strong, independent woman, okay? I'm raising my kid alone. I mean, except for like half the month when his father is with him. I don't know, Brian. I think for me now, it just kind of falls on deaf ears. The message of the
When are
Mighty
they gonna
Ducks.
have
I'm too old
sex?
for it. Yeah, probably already have.
Yeah, it's
When
probably.
does Charlie Conway's mom show up again? Even though she's lost a step.
Or
Have we
Miss
got
McKay.
Have we got any Ducks cameos?
Not yet.
The guy who plays Banks, I know, was in it at one point.
So catch me up. Disney Plus. Are all the episodes on there, or you have to wait?
You gotta
Week to
wait.
week.
It's every Friday.
Fuck.
Yeah, I know. That's how they get you, man.
That's all. I'm done.
Anything else, Brian? Ringing endorsement for Mighty Ducks Game Changers. Matt, what's in your cup?
Smoke a lot of weed and you watch it, and you might like it. That's pretty much. All you got.
And that's not Mighty Ducks. That's anything on television.
So Banner, this is strictly for you. So before we get ready for work and take the kid to daycare and shit, we usually feed him and just let him sit in his bumbo and watch TV for a while. So I don't know what your kid watches, but we've been watching Disney in the morning. I have to say, man, I'm a big fan of Bluey.
Yeah.
Bluey's a good show.
Yeah, we didn't watch much of that. That came a little after, because that's relatively new, isn't it?
How the hell would I know?
I'm not caught up on
Parent
Bluey.
for 5 months. So is your kid too old to watch Bluey?
We don't watch Bluey. We watch a lot of Vampirina, and actually Tangled has a TV show that we've been watching a lot of. And all the original all the characters from the movie came back for the show. You got Mandy Moore and Zachary Levi.
Is that on
Matt,
Disney Channel?
I'm found.
I don't know if it's on the Disney Channel.
Just got a Bluey shirt up.
Yeah,
no, Matt, you need this one. It's Bluey and it says Dad Goals.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Jeff, you would actually like this show.
I probably would.
It's kind of a throwback because some of the other shows I watch are like, all right, this is, it's just so Disney.
Click on that one. I like that.
Yeah, you see this, Matt? I mean, this is your fucking attire. Dude, imagine cutting the sleeves off this and lifting weights in it.
Oh, yeah.
That's
But Bluey's like, it's for kids, but it has some adult humor in it too. Where like, I literally laughed out loud 4 times. My wife's like, what are you watching? I'm like, I'm watching Bluey. This is fucking hilarious. And it's, the dogs are English too.
Does he do karate or something? Because this shirt, he's like, or no, maybe he's like a Johnny Bravo type,
No, it's like Bluey's a girl too. You need to watch it, Jeff. It's Disney in the morning. You'd actually kind of like it.
I mean, I won't put any. I mean, this guy looks cool, and the fact that they have apparel that for adults, like I'm already kind of digging it.
Yeah, it's a pretty fucking cool show. I didn't even know they had apparel. I'm probably gonna have to buy a shirt for me and my wife now.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, he digs it. I consider it kind of like Franklin the Turtle, but with like adult humor.
Dude, we had some good shit when we were kids. Franklin the Turtle, Arthur.
I love Arthur.
We could look up too.
Did you guys ever read Bernstein Bears?
Yeah.
Yes. You know the big controversy about we can't get into it on pod about the name of it, how people claim it changed between when we were kids and now, but it's never changed.
No, I haven't heard about this at all.
This is an off pod. This is like we have to be 3 beers deep to have this conversation.
Okay, I'm excited.
Matt, can I jump in and then we'll go back to you if you have anything else? So I watched Mulholland Drive, which is a film by David Lynch. He's the guy who did like Twin Peaks and some other shit. A couple friends of mine, Nate Thurman actually recommended this to me, and he told me it's a mind fuck. It's pretty crazy in the end. So we're doing our top 100 movies of all time list right now for our 5-year anniversary. So far, I've ranked 694 movies. Mulholland Drive is 694.
Wow.
It's the worst film I've ever seen in my life. And there are people out there groaning, rolling their eyes. Everything's a metaphor, man. Oh my God.
You know what I'm wondering? What's 696 or 5? What's the one movie that's worse?
No, this
Iron
is
Man
the
3.
worst.
Oh, this is the worst.
I mean, I can pull up my list right now. I don't want to give you too many spoilers, but since we won't talk about this on pod.
Iron Man 3 is second worst.
Let me pull. Well, I haven't got to the eyes yet. I'm ranking right now. Mulholland Drive is just because this is great podcasting to pull this up live. Mulholland Drive is six. Oh, Matt, you'll love this. Mulholland Drive is 694. 693 is Blade Runner 2049.
One of the worst movies. Me and Jeff.
I tried to watch Blade Runner, the first one. I got 20 minutes in, and I couldn't do it anymore.
Early in the pod, me and Jeff were at the theater. We're going to do a review afterwards, talking to guys that were into the pod, subscribed to us. We were talking about ideas and shit. We were so amped. Went in that movie, Bore Fest, left, drank, did a review.
It was really, really rough. Horrible movie. Anyway, Mulholland Drive. Listen, man, if everything is a metaphor, then like just nothing is, right? Like there has to be some point to some of the convolution that you have in a movie. And I'll just fully admit it. I might just not be a David Lynch guy. So it was shot horribly. It looks like dog shit. Naomi Watts is good in it, but I told Nate Thurman afterwards, bro, that was a big strike against your recommendations for me. Like that one hurt because not only did I not like it, but like I don't know how you got through this. I kept thinking something's got to change. At least there were boobs in it. Put it that way.
That's probably the only reason you got through it.
Yeah, probably. I got 3 more things, but Guy Girl, Banner, are you done? Was it just those 2 you watched?
Yeah, that was it. I didn't have much.
Cool.
I'll report next week how the second episode of Game Changers is, though. Don't worry.
I just wanted to talk some March Madness, since that's what I've been watching a lot, and wanted to get you guys' thoughts on it because I just feel like this year has been completely ruined and I've been completely disappointed in it. I don't know if I'm the only one that feels this way.
No, and I don't know what specifically you're referring to, but I think the NCAA has scheduled the days of these games.
It's all fucked up.
And I don't know why. Have you heard a reason why?
I was trying to look that up and I can't find one. The 2 reasons I just thought at the top of my head was one, either they're playing it all in one spot, so time zones, I thought. That doesn't make sense either because, UCLA played last night and tip was like at 9:00 here.
I know.
Which means it was like at 11 o'clock, 10 o'clock Indianapolis time. So that makes no fucking sense. I didn't know if they were going to have March Madness. So with like TV sponsors and everything like that, maybe they had shit booked like that Indianapolis, wherever they're playing. Maybe it was booked for like, a convention or a wedding or something like that. So they had to do it on Tuesday, Thursday, but they need to get it back.
Who's having a wedding at the same place that March Madness
is no, I mean, I get what you're saying.
What I mean? Like a business convention.
Like
yeah, I understand.
I don't know what they're doing.
I just had to give you some shit for that.
But is it
COVID reasons that, we don't know? I have no fucking idea. But the one thing I do know is that the national championships usually played on Monday. So even if you don't give a fuck about those 2 teams and your bracket's busted, you're going to watch it. But when the Elite Eights played on Monday and Tuesday and your bracket's busted or you don't care about USC and, I don't even know who they played, Gonzaga.
Yeah.
You need that on Thursday, Friday, because on Monday, I'm so tired from the weekend, I want to go to bed early. Same with Tuesday. But Thursday, Friday, I will stay up a little later and watch games. And go to bars.
What I don't understand is, it's always a big deal to take Thursday, Friday off of March Madness, right?
100%.
You take those 2 days off and you watch 32 fucking games in 2 days. They didn't allow you to do that this year. It was Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday, Monday. So now you have, which just doesn't make any sense. You used to be able to have 4 days of fucking basketball, and now you have like 1.5.
Another thing, too, and this has always been the NCAA's problem because they don't know how to do it without like literally breaking the law, but they had some big-time superstars that they marketed horribly, like Jalen Suggs on Gonzaga. I mean, I don't see any shit about him. Jonathan Kuminga, Evan Mobley on USC. I mean, Evan and Isaiah Mobley on USC. Evan Mobley's a top 3 pick. Isaiah's a lottery pick. Like, we don't see anything with these guys. They're not playing in prime time half the time. It's just like... I just remember, and maybe it's revisionist history, Banner, but like when Blake Griffin played Steph Curry in the NCAA tournament, like
it was such a big deal.
Even my mom knew that game was happening, and now we have Evan and Isaiah Mobley playing Jalen Suggs. There's 3 guys that are all going to be taken in the top 8.
And I was going to say, arguably, like better. I don't think Blake Griffin really panned out to what everybody expected. He's good, but he didn't pan out to what everybody expected him to be.
But I think that game was at like 4 o'clock, right? Geiger, when was the USC Gonzaga game?
Yeah, it was what was it, Monday or Tuesday?
Yeah,
like,
but like
tip was at
I don't
5.
think I was. Yeah, I wasn't even off work when.
Yeah,
it started.
I was still at work when it started.
And there's 3 top 8 picks in that game. Like, let's figure shit out to where it makes some sort of sense. You know what I'm saying? I don't know.
In the Elite Eight, it kind of starts fizzling. But like Banner said, that first Thursday, about 11 o'clock, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna probably go somewhere and have lunch and start watching these games. And then someone's like, no, the games don't even start till tonight. I'm like, what are you talking about? And they were the playing games. I'm like, dude, Thursday is the fucking day.
The playing games are on Tuesday. Like,
yeah, the playing games, you're supposed to have one day to travel after Selection Sunday, and then you play. But no, I don't know. It makes me upset, but it's just the NCAA, dude. They literally can't get out of their own way. They're so fucking stupid. Anything else from the games, Matt? Or are we just kind of burning our brackets?
No, I mean, the Final Four is interesting. I like the teams in it. I'm just saying that the times they have it make no fucking sense.
It just pisses me off because, like you said, if I could at least find a reason for their justification of it, I guess maybe I would sleep better at night, but I don't know what it is. I don't know if they know what it is.
And it's one of my favorite things all year, and I didn't even know. There was a couple days I'm like, what games are on tonight? I didn't even know that. Like, I didn't even know.
Frustrating. When you have a product like this that's so accessible, like the reason people do brackets is because you cannot have watched a single game all year and beat somebody that's watched 100 games, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, that's how it works. And
my wife fills one out every year.
She probably wins half the time.
And she goes, no, literally, she goes, hey, what color are this team's jerseys?
I like UCLA's colors. They're fun. Yep. Let's put them in the Final Four, even though they're playing game.
Yeah. Okay, babe, that's fucking stupid. I told you. Can you name one person who's ever played for them?
Go Barons. It's Bruins. Yeah,
that's what I said. That's not what you said. The NCAA fucking things up since whenever they started. All right, I have 2 things I want to run through quick, and then one that I really want to get your guys' take on. So I finished after about 2 years. This was like what the fiance and I would watch, like when we're eating dinner or just like can't figure out what to watch. Modern Family, all 11 seasons of it, 245 episodes, I believe. And as far as sitcoms go, I think this one has a high floor and a low ceiling. It doesn't peak that high, but it never dips below a certain level, which I think is a key with any show that runs that long.
That's big for a sitcom.
It's consistently funny, but I will say this. One thing that I wasn't too big a fan of, the characters in it don't really grow or change throughout the show. And it falls into the sitcom trope where like 40 to 50% of the humor is literally just miscommunication throughout the course of the show. Like, for example, there's an episode where Gloria, played by Sofia Vergara, her and Jay, played by Ed O'Neill, have to split up to do their Christmas shopping. And Gloria runs into someone at the mall and she says, Jay and I just split up. We're doing our Christmas shopping on our own. And that woman thinks that she meant her and Jay are getting a divorce. She texts her friends that, and that's the episode. Hinges from there. Miscommunication. Haha. She thought you meant something different. That's like such a low-hanging fruit for sitcoms, right? So they fall into that trap a lot.
This is really interesting, Jeff, because I started watching this.
Season.
It's on TV a lot now, and I never got into it. And then a couple years ago, I sat down and watched it. I actually really enjoyed it because a lot of the actors in it. I mean, I love Sofia Vergara, the girl that was in Billy Madison. I love
Julie
her.
Bowen.
I love Ed O'Neill. I mean,
Ed O'Neill's great.
All of us grew up with Married with Children with our dad. So, but I tend to agree with you where the best part of for me is Cam. I think he's the best.
Oh yeah. Which, by the way, Eric Stonestreet, huge KC guy, like big time.
Yeah, he's from Kansas City, and that's where Cam's character actually like.
Yes.
You know, he's gay, but he grew up like on a farm and was like a good athlete and like all this stuff. Like his backstory is actually, and he's actually the only one. He's not homosexual, but the other actor is, which is interesting.
Yes. Yeah.
But he seems to play a better gay. Well, not really. He's more flamboyant, I guess. than.
But it's funny because he's really manly because his character played college football, so he'll like kind of switch back and forth.
I see. This is what it sucks because at the beginning the characters there was so much depth in the characters, not in each character, just like, there's a gay guy, but there's also a gay guy that's, like an athlete that, you can believe too. And then there's Ed O'Neill that, marries a hot chick, and like it has a lot of depth, but I do agree with you, none of the characters grow. And the problem for me is that the kids are super annoying and they get worse as they get older.
All the kids suck. And the only way that the writers can make the kids funny is to make them assholes. Is what gets a little bit repetitive.
Luke's a terrible actor. I can't remember the Hispanic kid's name in it. He's terrible.
Manny?
Yeah, Manny. He's like,
oh, bad.
His thing about how he's like, acts like he's 40 years old all the time, gets kind of old.
Oh,
the two girls are actually grow up to be kind of hot, but they get really annoying too. But yeah.
Yeah. Rob Riggle actually is probably the most recurring side character on the show. So there's just another KC connection. And his character's funny because he plays Phil's like real estate rival. Yeah. And he's like a douchebag. Obviously, he'll do like whatever.
I love Nathan Lane as Pepper.
Pepper Saltzman. Is that not the greatest name in sitcom history?
Wow.
Gay. Is Nathan Lane gay in real life? Or
oh my God, yeah, he's the
okay. I didn't know if he always just played a gay character, if he was or not. I didn't know.
And his character's a wedding planner, so like the type of I don't know. His character has some great one-liners in there. But overall, I was just gonna say it's just a consistent show. Like if you want something to watch that you're going to enjoy, probably 90% of the time, that's it.
Honestly, but yeah, on the other than looking at Sophia, I'd rather just have a sitcom about the two gay guys because they're like the funniest part in it for me.
Yeah, I agree.
Even you said it's 11. I haven't watched it.
It's 11 seasons.
It should have stopped after what, Jeff? Season 6?
Probably, yeah. Because but again, it doesn't dip below a certain threshold, which is good. But it never like there's not like one season where I'm like Seinfeld, seasons 3 and 4. You're like, oh, dude, that's fucking TV right there. There's never a season for Modern Family where you're like, it was hitting its stride. It's just like
season 2 through 4 or something. That you're
exactly.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's just like a 250 hitter, like batting 6th or 7th. That's rock solid. That lived for a long time.
Plays great defense.
Exactly.
A couple years ago, man, that was the sitcom though. It would always clean up at the Emmys.
It was, and it's interesting. And The Office kind of fell into this too. It's the mockumentary style, sort of like The Office was.
Yeah.
But they really never do anything with that except for using it for the side interviews. Like The Office, I guess at the very end kind of ties up like that they're making the documentary. Modern Family never gets into that, which I thought was kind of interesting. One other thing I'll mention before the last one that I want to talk about. So I'm doing this thing, Matt, you inspired me to do this because you kept bringing some just awesome, like classic movies to the pod every week in your protein shake. So I'm trying to do one new, one old each week. And so I watched The Goonies this past week, the 1985 classic, just to see where it would place, if any, again, on my top 100 list for our 5-year.
You, I bet.
It did a little bit. It's cool to see Josh Brolin like Thanos as this 14-year-old kid that just lifts weights all the time. But there was one thing about it that kind of
bugged. He hasn't changed in 40 years.
True.
And Rudy.
Yeah, Rudy, Sean Astin, probably his first role. Corey Feldman in it as Mal.
Oh, yeah.
So Richard Donner directed this. By the way, Matt, in the title, the opening credits, I almost texted you. Written by Chris Columbus, our boy. And story by
He honestly might be the writer of the 90s. He did a lot of stuff.
He's all over, dude. He's all over everything. And the fact that he was involved, I'm kind of shocked John Candy wasn't in this because they were like homies. But one thing that I kind of found, like, it kind of bothered me. So Richard Donner directed this, who did at least the first Superman with Christopher Reeves, maybe the second and third. But at the end of this movie, Sloth, like, kind of saves the day, spoilers. And he has a Superman shirt on, and they play the Superman theme song. And Matt, is it a little fucked up for like a band to pay tribute to themselves at their own concert? Because that's what Richard Donner did. Yeah,
that whole thing, the "Hey you guys," like that ruined the movie for me.
Yeah,
it was so like oh, let's do the Rocky Dennis Clayface guy that like it just I think the Goonies suck, honestly.
It
I never
wasn't.
thought that movie was good. I never get the whole aspect of, oh, this was one of the movies of the 80s. I'm like, well, the 80s must have sucked because the Goonies suck. I don't think
Yeah,
that movie's good at all.
and I don't
You want
want
to
to
talk Stand
spoil.
By Me? I'll do that. That's a
Oh,
great movie, but
100%. I don't want to spoil my top 100, but if you're expecting Goonies to be on there, I don't
it's
know.
terrible.
It's not
It's not a
looking
good
right
movie.
now. I think that the concept of the Goonies actually led to a lot of better films, like the coming of age for like the group of like prepubescent friends.
Like I like
But
Coca-Cola's idea of it more than I actually like it.
God, what does that even mean? All right, sorry. One last thing that I forgot that I just added. I saw a movie, speaking of new, came out this year called The Father with Anthony Hopkins
Mhm.
and Olivia Colman from The Favorite. Have you seen the trailer for this?
Was that up for Oscars?
So here's the thing. It is listed as 2020 on IMDb because it played at the festivals last year, but it just released on video on demand like this past week. And I rented it from my local library, we'll say. And the premise is the trailer, I think, kind of sells you a false bill of goods from the movie. But Anthony Hopkins is uh, obviously like an elderly man, and Olivia Colman is his daughter. And she wants to get him in a care facility because she needs to move to Paris. She has like a boyfriend who she needs to move to Paris for. And the movie is a series of scenes where Anthony Hopkins is hearing like conflicting stories from people in his life, his daughter, her boyfriend, the prospective caretaker, about what is going to be happening to him. And the whole time is this a false narrator? Like, does he have dementia or some deteriorating mind disease? Or are these people actually lying to him and trying to swindle him out of his money? And as the viewer, you kind of go back and forth. And I will just say this, Anthony Hopkins, I hope he stops acting soon because this is his second best performance of his career. Like, he shows, okay, yeah, I fucking did Thor, I did Transformers. I still have one swing left if I know a fastball's coming and I can crank that shit out of the park. He's awesome in this. And
He's a great actor.
he's great, but like, dude, we're never gonna get mad at you for chasing the paycheck. But if you chase the paycheck, like we also get to criticize the film. You do, right? But here he still brings it, man, and he's fucking awesome. And this thing ends not at all in the way it doesn't have a twist ending, I don't want to say, but it doesn't really go the way you I won't spoil it, but it doesn't go the way you think it is as far as like the
Does a
narrative goes.
Transformer show up at the end and it all connects?
Sort of.
Marky Mark's there.
A Decepticon bird flies in and it's, all that shit. But I enjoyed it. It was an hour 40, so it doesn't really overstay its welcome, but it's really just Anthony Hopkins chewing the scenery and like for maybe the last time in his career, just like I still got it. Anybody that fucking doubted it because I wanted to make some money, suck these nuts because I'm awesome.
I mean, I consider being an actor is just like being an employee. Like, yeah, man, sometimes I like to do a big project that I get, a lot of like, higher ups like will email me like, great job, this will really help out the company. But then sometimes I just want to do like stupid ass jobs that I can basically half ass for a month and then just turn in. Like, I get it.
Exactly. Plus, dude, like, okay, I think it's cool that he's in a profession where he can do both, right? He can fucking cash in by doing 3 Thor movies. He probably made $4 million for Thor Ragnarok for one scene. And then when he wants to scratch that other itch, like, all right, do I still have it? He knows that he does, which is cool. So it's called The Father. I would definitely recommend it. But it's not like most movies. It's not Bro. Let me put it that way. But there's definitely something there. All right, sorry that my protein shake's going so long, but I saved this one from last week, and we got to talk about it, especially because I want both your guys' opinions on it. So, a Netflix documentary movie, so it's not a series, I think it was like an hour 35, called Operation Varsity Blues, The College Admission Scandal. And if you're at home and you remember this story, it's about a guy named Rick Sanger, whose job was to basically work with the wealthy elite, some celebrities included in that, to help get their kids into colleges that they would not qualify for academically using what he called a side door, which basically meant he had a contact at these respective universities where they would pay a certain sum of money, and one way or another, whether it's faking an athletic scholarship or an academic scholarship, or sometimes literally just putting them in the registrar's list, would get them into the school that they wanted at a premium price. Now, some of the famous names who have been indicted for this actually are Lori Loughlin from Full House, of course, who played Aunt Becky. And I don't know what she's in, Matt, but you definitely referenced she was William H. Macy's wife. Felicity Huffman, the actress, she looks
in a bunch
familiar.
of chick stuff.
Yeah, maybe she's in like Ally McBeal or something. But the premise here, and Matt, I told you this off pod. I think it's bullshit. This is even illegal. So call me. Maybe I'm the sheriff of Nottingham here, and I'm way off base. But these are private universities: Stanford, Yale, Harvard, USC, where Rick Sanger takes money from the parent, he pays it to the university ipso facto, and they get their kids in the school. Now, is it somewhat nefarious means? Sure. Does it circumvent their academic standards in certain cases? Sure. But I personally think if I'm a private school and you want to pay, like if Matt wants to pay me $100,000 and Banner wants to pay me $40,000, who the fuck's business is it which of their kids has better grades? I'm a private university. Right? Shouldn't I be able to let whoever I want in? Like, I'm sorry, Brian.
Yeah, and if you're into this story, go watch Orange County, because that's kind of what this is about. But I totally agree with Jeff. And, going even to the college, basketball or football route, like, if Chris Webber's son, who doesn't play basketball, maybe can't have the grades, wants to go to Michigan, and Chris Webber has given a lot of money to the university, and he made the university a lot of money during the Fab Five. Just let his fucking son in. Who cares? And if you think it's taking someone's spot, that's not right, because there's Michigan State, there's fucking Indiana, there's Purdue, there's a bunch of fucking schools around that you can get into. And people need to quit thinking of colleges as schools. They're businesses.
1,000%.
Point blank. That's what they are. If they weren't businesses, you wouldn't pay tuition. You would just get good grades and get to go there. That's it.
And also, I hate to, sorry, Banner, I'll toss it to you right for this. I hate to put on like the purely callous business hat, but when Matt says, "Oh, you took my daughter's spot," here's what I'll ask you. Realistically, if your daughter goes here and becomes a doctor, because again, Matt said they're businesses. How does it help them? That's good. Sure. I guess it kind of makes the university look good. She paid her tuition or got a scholarship. Does that help us more, or does $200,000 off the top from some rich person help the university more in the long run? Like, cool, you're one of 8 million doctors that went here. And I know I sound like an asshole saying this, but I just think I'm trying to be realistic about the business part of it. Banner, am I a son of a bitch for saying that? I almost don't want you to answer that question.
You are a son of a bitch, but not because of this. Let me ask you this. Is there any difference here in when we went to school, Jeff? We both went to Oklahoma State. I don't think that's a secret. The athletes that get into school and they're playing school, they are babied. They get tutored every single day. They have to go and check in on all this stuff. When I went, I failed out because I didn't have anybody checking in on me and making sure I was doing my work and things like that. So what's the difference in those athletes getting that better treatment because they're an athlete so that the university can make money, as opposed to me, who's just a dude who I'm just giving you my $40,000 so I can get a piece of paper? What's the difference in flipping that now and going, hey, I'm going to give you $200,000 to get me into the school, and this other person only has to pay $50,000?
I feel like I need to get it tattooed on my body somewhere, because Bob Sugar said it best. It's not show friends, it's show business. And like Matt said, I mean, if someone makes a massive contribution to the school, like, why do they need to defend why they let that kid in? I think, why can't Stanford just be like, yeah, you want to know why we let this kid in? His dad gave us $2.1 million. We're a private university. Fuck off. Like,
Jeff, did the schools get in trouble for this?
So Stanford is the only one still in court, but really it's just the people who took the money. But again, and I hate to keep circumventing like the rules here, but the people had to take the money as the side doors because the schools for some reason can't do it. And like Matt and I always say about recruiting, you're never going to stop it. It's just how do people have to sneak around the regulations is
And
really
I
what it
don't
comes
get
down
why
to.
they're in jail. Like, why is this a big deal? Like, there's so much other big deals. Just like
You're
It's
calling
so
literally
dumb.
baseball players to
putting
Congress
somebody.
about
You're
steroids.
they're literally putting somebody in jail because they paid in one lump sum what I would make in like 3.5 years.
But to
Yeah.
a university
Right.
that
To
they're
a
Right.
going to
high,
use that money to better educate not just their kid, but a lot of
All
kids.
the kids.
yeah, it makes no goddamn sense. And the other thing too, if you want to say like, well, this is pervasive, the numbers we're talking about this happening on is like Rick Sanger said he would put about 32 kids in different colleges per year. So I think he had like 10 universities. That's an average of just over 3 a year. So the argument of like you're taking my kid's spot, if your kid was in the very last 3, that one of these people paying 8 times that much to the school are taking their spot, they don't fucking deserve to be there anyway. And that's coming from a person that had like a 2.9 in high school. I don't know. I feel like an asshole saying this, but I also don't feel like I'm wrong. All right. Anything else for you guys?
No, I agree. That's
No, I'm
bullshit.
good.
Is it worth watching? Because I almost watched it the other day.
I think so. They do it actually in a cool way. And Matt, the guy from The Dark Knight Rises, who plays like the main cop, like the one who like
Yeah.
takes over for, you know, so the documentary, he's the one playing Rick Sanger. He's like acting out all the phone calls he actually had, which he's pretty good in the role. Like I kind of like the way he plays the dude who like explains how it's legal. And there's some cool stuff with the SAT that's really interesting also. But yeah, so Banner, I would definitely recommend it. It's
All
short
right.
too. You know, we're all doc heads on this pod, so I already put it on the Oscars for next year. Don't worry about it. All right, last show.
Give me that, bruh.
That is our Do You Even Lift Bruh segment. And we're closing today. It is our question and answer segment, but today we're returning to the Bro 4 Squad trivia. Since we have the brain trust on the pod, over the past probably year or so, we've been doing a recurring trivia contest where each of the bros on the pod will each bring a trivia question to ask the other two. Every time someone gets one right, they get a point. First person to get 10 points gets to choose the next movie commentary for the podcast. And we have given half points for stealing answers. So the standings as we sit tonight, not only do we have our worst sequels ever movie madness champion, we might have our trivia champion tonight. Because since it's first to 10, Geiger sits at 9.5 points. Banner could win as well, sitting at 8.5 points. And I've been fighting through injuries and multitude of legal issues off the court, so I'm only at 6.5 points. But again, it's not an excuse. I just want to bring it up at the beginning of every press conference, so people know. Banner, why don't you? If you have your trivia questions ready, do you want to ask yours first? If not, I can get.
Yeah, we can do this.
He can do.
Let's go, Matt first.
Okay.
Matt, whose net worth as of 2020 is more, Harrison Ford or Leonardo DiCaprio?
As of 2020, you said?
Yes.
No stealing, I'm assuming, since it's an either or, right?
Yeah,
I'd say Leo, since he did Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
That is incorrect. Harrison Ford is
What?
300 million. Leo is 260.
Leo's only 260?
What has Harrison Ford done?
Does he have like a winery or something, Harrison Ford?
Maybe, but how much royalties does he get off of Star Wars?
I guess that's true.
And Indiana Jones and American Graffiti and Air Force One.
No one is getting royalties off American Graffiti. Like, let's fucking relax. Damn. All right. That just shows you talent doesn't equal dollars in this industry. No offense to Harrison Ford.
Jeff, how many Pixar movies are there?
Banner has it tattooed on his chest, remember?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what's on his chest. I know there's that birthmark under the left nipple, but I'm trying to think of the number. How many Pixar movies are there? I wish you could tell me what the first one is, so I know how far back I'm going. Like, is it Toy Story, or is there something weird before that I don't know about?
I'll verify this, but I'm 97% sure Toy Story is the first one.
Is the first one? Okay, I just want to make sure there wasn't like some just Steve Jobs Pixar movie that came out.
Toy Story is the first one, November of 95.
Okay. I'm going to say, and I'm just going to go with the same number as the MCU. I'll say 23.
Holy fuck. You got it right. And if that's your reason, that is insane. That is insane. 23 is correct, with Soul being the latest release in December of 2020.
It's March, baby. Cinderella's not going home yet.
Wow.
All right. Matt, why don't you go second? Because I'm actually looking at my trivia questions, and I think both you guys are going to get mine. So
all right,
if you
Banner,
end up...
in one of the shitty Pirates sequels, what famous rocker plays Johnny Depp's dad, and what band is he a part of?
I know this, but I know it.
It's
Banner's not into music.
Yeah, I'm not, but I know it's on the tip of my tongue.
Wait. No. No, that's a different cameo. Fuck.
It's Liv Tyler's dad, right?
Is that your guess?
Fuck. And Aerosmith is the band.
Get out of here.
Yeah, I'm drawing a complete fucking blank.
Let's just piss off people in England even more with that answer. You piss off. You already shit on the Beatles.
Oh, piss off. Come off it. Okay. So...
Brothel for squad, bunch of cunts, if you ask me.
You are a proper cunt, aren't you, Brothel squad? All right, now, okay, I've changed my mind again. I think I do know this. I'm going to go with my original answer.
Okay, you want to steal it?
Yeah, for half a point. So I was at first going to say Paul McCartney, but he's just a cameo. He's the dude in the prison.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't seen this movie, but Matt, you've talked about it multiple times. It's got to be Keith Richards from the Rolling Stones, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
We actually modeled from the first Pirates. That's who we modeled Jack Sparrow after.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess it makes sense with the eyeliner.
And that's
but Paul McCartney is in one of them, right?
Yeah, he's in that. I think the same one.
Okay.
All right, Jeff. Sports question.
Guys, first off, updated scores. I mean, I'm at 8.0, Banner's at 8.5, and Geiger's still lapping the field at 9.5. But I'm not getting embarrassed now. So
no. All right, Jeff. Sports question. The Final Four starts Saturday. Gonzaga's in it.
Yes.
Undefeated. Who's the last basketball program that went undefeated through the regular season to the Final Four?
1976 Indiana.
No.
No?
No.
Damn it.
Do you want me to...
No, let's let Banner try to steal. Oh, to the Final Four?
Yeah.
Fuck. I thought you meant to the national championship.
That's just not went undefeated.
No, I know. That's on me. I'm a cocky piece of shit. I deserve this. What's Frank saying old school? I don't deserve to live after he burns.
I'll let you
himself.
re-answer it because you didn't understand the question.
I just don't know the year.
You don't have to have year.
Kentucky? Oh, Kentucky?
I think it was
Randall John Wall team.
They weren't undefeated. No.
Oh, okay.
It's the 1990 UNLV Running Rebels.
Banner, would you have guessed that?
No. No.
Okay.
I can't even lie and say I would have.
Banner's still Googling who the Rolling Stones are.
I should have known just with you asking the question. So I thought that UNLV team won.
No, they won in 90. And then the next year, they were all like LJ and Stacy, all of them were juniors, and they all came back next year, went undefeated, and that same Duke team beat them.
Oh, okay, so the team that won actually wasn't undefeated at the time, but the team that didn't win was undefeated.
Yeah, so the
Oh,
year
that's kind
before
of
they won the whole
crazy.
thing. The next year they went undefeated throughout the whole regular season, went to the Final Four, and then Duke won when like behind the scenes they said UNLV took a dive, and then I think the next game was that Christian Laettner shot for the championship.
Fuck Christian Laettner. Hang on, I want to see this Kentucky back because this
But
was
you
the
are
team
correct. Indiana is the last. Bobby Knight's Indiana team is the last team to go undefeated.
Okay, but that was my own cocky ass for not. Damn, that's a great question. I like when we throw in some sports. All right, Geiger, I'm going to ask you your second just because.
Yeah.
Drama.
All right, Banner, you need to get this because otherwise Geiger will steal and then he'll win at 10 even. So, in Jerry Maguire, which I just quoted, one of our all-time favorites. Check out have we done a commentary on that or just a review?
Yes, absolutely. It's one of our top 10 biggest commentaries of all
Hell
time.
yeah. Check out both of them. We did a Broback also. In Jerry Maguire, Banner, which team are the Arizona Cardinals playing on Monday Night Football in the last game shown in the film where Rod Tidwell makes a career-defining catch? Who's their opponent?
Oh, fuck.
Banner.
If you remember the scene, remember Tidwell kind of gets flipped in the end zone.
Yeah.
Fuck that. Do you remember the pregame who like ran on the field? Who's like on that
Wearing
team?
jerseys they don't normally wear, right?
I don't remember that. He had a do-rag on though.
Well, Matt, that could be anybody in the 90s. I mean,
No, there's
but
only
yeah.
one person that made it work.
That pulling it off.
Why don't people do that anymore? You know how shit comes back? Like they're wearing short
I
shorts
know.
now, and a lot of basketball players are wearing the white t-shirts on their jersey. Why don't the do-rag come back?
I know, and that's one that I can't wait on. Like, I need it now. And no, the skull caps don't count.
No, that doesn't count.
I'm pretty sure this is wrong, but I want to say the Chargers.
What?
I know.
No.
I know.
All right, Geiger. Walk it off.
I won't even answer it. Give me my question.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
All right.
Wow.
I mean, I'm going to give
Rubbing
it
in
to you
our
anyway.
fuck-
This
I'm gonna give it
is
to you.
like remember when the wrestler could pin the guy, but then he lifts his head up, like just the cocky fuck he is. Like
He's
no,
like,
no.
I'd rather kill him. All right, Geiger. Dancing on all of our graves. In the Disney Channel original movie Johnny Tsunami, what is the title character Johnny's actual last name?
Fuck.
Come on.
Johnny
Oh my God, Geiger.
Capacala, something
What
like
did you
that.
say? What did you say?
It's like Johnny Capacala.
I'll give that to you. It's
Yeah,
Kappa.
I accept.
Yeah. Kapahala. His
Capacala,
grandpa is actually Johnny. I mean, I don't know if he legally changed his name, but on the cast list, his grandpa from Mortal Kombat is Johnny Tsunami. And Matt, until he earns the title, he's Johnny Kapahala.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the answer was Barry Switzer's Dallas Cowboys.
And Dion with the respective dude.
I
Troy
don't
actually.
remember seeing Troy or Emmett. I saw Dion.
Well, Troy says something to Jerry in the tunnel after the game. No, he says to his agent, "Why don't we hug like that?"
Oh yeah.
'Cause actually, I think he's represented by Bob Sugar, isn't he?
I think so. Yeah. And he tries to hug him, and Troy just kind of pushes
Yeah,
him
he's
off.
like, "Well, not now. It's fucking desperate."
That's back when we
also-
thought Troy was gay. Remember?
Only because Skip Bayless said it, and now we all, of course, know how credible he is.
Tapping 12s.
He dated Aaron Andrews, didn't he? Was that a rumor?
I don't know. You probably
I think he did.
hung out.
To sort of steer into the skid, the Johnny Tsunami sequel, which is probably horrible, is called Johnny Capahala Back on Board, where he becomes one of those dudes who like surfs the hills in the desert. So that's cool.
Is he a soul surfer though?
Probably.
Sell out, and do it for money.
Because apparently, if you get paid and also do what you love, you fucking suck. What fucking brainwashing Brink was. I remember like thinking, oh man, if you get paid to do what you actually enjoy, you're just not a good person. All right, well, Geiger, you win. I'm giving you the
Predator.
All right,
All right.
solves that. You just I'm glad Banner didn't win because you know what movie you saved us all from.
Oh yeah, Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Vampire Hunter, yeah.
That's right. It's all
Where
right.
basically we don't
Let's
talk
run
the
it
whole
back.
time. It's just Banner telling us how great it is.
Yeah,
Run it
now
back.
Banner's the guy at LA Fitness. Run it back. You're like, dude, we played for 2 hours. I'm going home. Like, I have to eat dinner. All right, congrats to Matt Geiger, who also covered the spread. Guys, that'll do it for episode 149. What a fun one it was. Any closing thoughts? Banner, let's go to you first in the lab.
Just pull over for emergency vehicles, please. It's not that hard, guys.
It's not.
I mean,
I don't know what else. I mean, we can't ask any nicer.
yeah. Don't make me get mean.
And if you think it might be an emergency vehicle, let's say it's like one of those Schwann trucks that delivers like dairy, pull over anyway. People need their ice cream. It's the least you could do.
Or like a tow man. Worst thing you could do is run into a tow truck.
When you said toe man, I don't know why I thought about like your toes on your feet, but that's not a
feet.
That's not a profession. So, Matt, I hate to give you any accolades, but I kind of feel like you were the MVP of this episode, especially winning the cup. Do you want to rub it in Banner's face? Don't rub it in my face because I'm the mayor.
No, I want to say if you want to be our intern, just comment below. The only criteria we ask is that you'll watch shitty movies we don't want to watch, you'll write squad blogs we don't want to write, and you'll never, ever, ever, by any means, ever ask to be on pod.
And that's a hard and fast rule.
Yeah, just don't ask. If we want you on, we'll ask.
We know how to contact you, so shut the fuck up. Banner, I could see like Banner walks in, somebody's watching like Expendables 3, and Banner's like, what the fuck's this? I wanted to watch this for the pod. Now you're watching it? You're fired.
Can't get good help these days.
You can't. It's impossible, especially for free.
And if you have fake boobs too, we can't hire you because we don't make enough money to give half of it to our wives off this pod.
Yeah, that's true.
We're already giving half to Cycly, on top of the half he already makes.
Yeah, by the way, guys, I looked at the contract. We're getting fucking hosed on this thing.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
We need to hold out.
Yeah. Let's all hold out.
Yeah, we're holding out.
Exactly. Cycly said he's fine with that.
South
actually.
Beach.
Let's hold out, and then when all the sexual assault allegations come out for the chick who was like doing the cryotherapy on our feet, we're like, oh well, fuck. Yes, it's Antonio Brown. If you're at home wondering. All right, for the mad scientist Brian Banner and our enforcer in the paint Matt Geiger, I'm the mayor Jeff Hornacek. We are the Bro Force Squad podcast. Thank you guys so much for checking us out. Follow us on Twitter at Bro Force Squad. Find us on Letterboxd, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube if you type in Bro Force Squad as 3 separate words, and check out our website and all of our squad blogs. Geiger has a great one about movie theaters coming back this year. You need to read broforcesquad.com. Till next time, son of mask sucks.
When I was filling out my taxes, I got $2,000 back, but at the bottom it says, has Deshaun Watson touched you? And I clicked yes, and I got $4,000 back.
That same thing happened to me, yeah. And then it also gave me a metric of how untradeable now is he, which I thought was a little weird, but it updated.
I mean, I'd take him on my team.
Buy low, you know what I'm saying?